Dear students, welcome to the massive open online course. My name is Dr. Milton Devadayavu, Assistant Professor, Department of Public Administration, Madras Christian College, Chennai. In the previous session, we were discussing about revenue expenditure. Today, we are going to discuss some important topic called center-state relationship. The center-state division of powers and functions, the topic which we are going to discuss today in detail. The division of power as a concept theoretically enumerated by John Locke. John Locke was the first person who enumerated the concept called division of power. It was modified by Montesquieu and got reflected in the Constitution of the United States of America. Later, it was modified by Montesquieu. What is the essence? In essence, federalism is a division of powers between national government, which means union, and the state government. That is the essence of the federalism. The 7th schedule, part 11 of our Indian Constitution tells about the 3 legislative lists which mentioned subjects for legislation by union government, state government, and jointly by union government and the state government. This part 11 explains about these 3 things: list 1, list 2, list 3. List 1 is union list, list 2 is state list, list 3 is concurrent list. Before getting into the actual topic, just I would like to tell you about what is the theoretical and conceptual background of division of power. Jean Bodin was the first modern writer to demand a separation of power. He was the first person, he was a modern writer, he was demanding the separation of a power. Montesquieu, in his book name called The Spirit of the Law, in the year of 1748, enunciated and explained his theory of separation of powers. Mahatma Gandhi advocated for power decentralization by describing a Ram Rajya in which there will be layers of authority beginning with the village panchayat and progressing to the national level. Mahatma Gandhi ji clearly explains about the division of power from the Gram Panchayat till at the union level. The division of power in the Constitution of India, our Indian Constitution clearly explains about the division of powers. If you see, part 11 of Indian Constitution explains about legislative and executive power of the center and state. Part 12 explains exclusively about financial power. In the division of power, basically there are 3 things. First is legislative power, second is executive power, third is financial power. Part 11 of our Indian Constitution explains what is the legislative power for the central as well as state governments, parliament and state legislative assemblies. Also explains about the executive powers of the center as well as the state. Part 12 of our Indian Constitution explains about financial freedom of center as well as the state. The distribution of powers between central and provincial, which means state governments in the Indian Constitution, are present in part 11, article 246 of our Indian Constitution. As I mentioned, these 2 parts, part 11 and part 12, clearly explains about the division of powers and functions of center and state. Indian Constitution has followed a system in which there are two lists of legislative powers, one for center and other for state. Also, it tells about the residue is left for the center, the residual power which is left with the center. This system is similar to the one in the Constitution of Canada. Our Indian Constitution, this part alone, it is similar to the Constitution of the Canada. The Constituent Assembly of India followed the system of division of power as was envisaged in the Government of India Act of 1935 regarding the provisions about division of power in India. Act of 1935 clearly tells about the provision about the division of power in India between center and the state, legislative power, executive power and financial power. What is division of powers? The distribution of powers amongst various government organs, union government to state government, state to district, district to villages is refers to the division of powers. As mentioned by Mahatma Gandhiji, how this distribution of power is supposed to be done from Ramraja village panchayat level to the union government. The same thing applicable here. The division of power means how this power which has been distributed from union government to state government, from state government to the district administration, from district administration even to the local level village administration. That is called actual division of power. For the center, union list is a concern, and for the state list is a consent. For the center, union list is a concern for the state, likewise for the state is a concern. Parliament has delegated executive functions to the union over concurrent list under numerous pieces of legislation. Apart from center list, apart from the state list, union list and state list, something called concurrent list. On this concurrent list, Parliament has the delegated executive functions at the union over concurrent list under numerous pieces of the legislations. Now we will discuss about the constitutional provisions. The 7th schedule, article 246, deals with the division of powers between center and the state government. Article 246, 7th schedule, deals with the division of power between center and state. The union list has 97 subjects to discuss. Earlier it was 96. The state list has 59 subjects. Earlier it was 66. The concurrent list has 52 subjects. Originally it was 47. As I mentioned in the beginning of the lecture, there are 3 lists: union, state and concurrent list. These are the subjects. For list 1, 97, which means union list. For state we have 59, and for the concurrent list we have 52. The center receives residuary power for those that are not mentioned in all the 3 lists. Apart from these 3 lists, list 1, list 2, list 3, something called residuary power. This residuary power, it lies in the hands of the center. Whatever things, whatever subjects which is not mentioned in these 3 lists, whatever is left, this comes under residuary power of the center. Okay, now let us discuss about few examples of union list. First is defense, which comes under union list. Then armed forces, atomic energy, foreign affairs, war and peace, citizenship, railways, shipping, airways, post and telegraphs, telephones, elections, audit of government accounts, and the finally UPSC. These are all few examples of the union list. Now we will discuss few examples for the state list: public order, police, administration of justice, prisons, local government, public health and sanitation, education, agriculture, water supply, land rights, forest, state public service commission, land revenue, taxes on agriculture income, taxes on lands and buildings, estate duty, taxes on electricity, taxes on vehicle, and so on. These are all few examples of the state list. Now we will discuss about few examples for the concurrent list. First is transfer of property other than agriculture land, contracts, bankruptcy and insolvency, trustees and trust, civil procedure, contempt of court, adulteration of foodstuffs, drugs and poisons, economic and social planning, trade unions, security, labor welfare, electricity, newspapers, books and printing presses, stamp duties, and so on. These are all comes under concurrent list. We discussed about union list, state list and concurrent list. Article 282 empowers state to allocate financial resources for public purpose. Article 282 enumerates what is the, it empowers states to allocate financial resources for the public purpose. State can allocate fund for the public purpose. Article 293 allows the state to borrow an unlimited money without the permission of union government. So these are all two important articles which empower states to allocate financial resources, also to borrow unlimited money for the purpose of public. The financial resources of the country to be distributed to ensure the financial independence along with the distribution of legislative and administrative powers. The financial resources of the country clearly explains how this can be distributed to ensure the financial independence. See, state government should have financial independence. Always state government should not depend on the union government, especially on the financial aspect. State government, it has its own financial power, it has its own financial function to levy taxes and collect tax. That tax can be used for the purpose of the, to meet the expenditure of the state government. The Indian Constitution does not make a clear-cut distribution of the financial resources and leaves much to be decided by the central government from time to time. For certain cases, our Indian Constitution given authority to the Parliament can take decision from time to time. This privilege is given to the Parliament. Now we will get into the detailed study of center-state financial relations in India. So far we were discussing about what are all the powers, what are all the state-center relationship. We discussed about legislative relations, executive relations, then we discussed about financial relations. Also we discussed about three important lists: list 1 union list, list 2 state list, list 3 concurrent list. Also we discussed about part 11, part 12 of our Indian Constitution. Part 12 exclusively talks about financial power of the center and state. Also we discussed about few examples for union list, state list and concurrent list. Now we will get into the very important topic called center-state financial relations in India. Yes, as we all know that center government at the center. Before getting into the topic, just I would like to tell you one important thing is Parliament and central government both are different. See, central government means it is ruling party, it is ruling party government. Whereas parliament means not only for the ruling party, also there will be members and leaders from the opposition party. Try to understand the difference between parliament and the central government. Here now we are going to discuss about the relationship between center and the state. To ensure financial independence along with the distribution of legislative and administrative powers, the country's financial resources are also so distributed to the states. See, on the one hand, the legislative and executive powers are distributed between center and state. In order to ensure financial freedom, in order to ensure the financial powers to the state government, the financial relationship between center and state clearly explains about the financial powers for the central as well as the state governments. The Constitution of India, which came into force in 1950, provided for a clear-cut division of functions and revenue resources between union and states. It is mentioned in our Indian Constitution itself what is the relationship when it comes to finance for the center and the state. The 7th schedule of the Constitution contains a detailed distribution of functions between center and the state governments in the form of 3 lists, which we already discussed. 7th schedule of our Indian Constitution clearly explains about the relationship, the powers and the functions of center and the state, especially on the financial relations. That is union list, state list and concurrent list. The states have a little power in taxation and are heavily dependent on the center for financial resources. According to our Indian Constitution, at the center they play a major role in terms of taxation, which does not mean that autonomy is not given for the state government. No, even state government also has its own power to levy and collect taxes. They have their own financial resources and financial freedom. They also have certain financial powers. The chief source of finance of the state is the grants in aid from the center. What is the major source of revenue for the state government from the center is grants in aid. Now we will discuss about what is the tax revenues distribution between center and state. What are the tax revenues which is available at center and state? First one is tax exclusive to center. This tax, it is exclusive to center. Center can levy the tax. There is no role for any state governments in India can levy taxes on certain items. For an example, customs. Who has the power to levy taxes for the customs? Only at the center level. There is no role at the state level. Second is tax exclusive to the state. See, first we discussed about what is the exclusive power for the center to levy the tax. That is their autonomy, their freedom, their power. Likewise, for state government also has their own autonomy, own power, own function they can exercise. They can also levy tax and collect tax. That money can be used for the welfare of the state government. For an example, sales tax. Article 268 explains about the third category, taxes levied by the center but collected and appropriated by the state. What is taxes levied by the center and appropriated and collected by the state government means? See, according to Article 68, it clearly mentions that the role of the center is they can only levy the tax. They have no role to play to appropriate and collect the tax from the public. See, The role of center is they can just fix the rate, that is it. They can just fix how much money can be collected as a tax. Whereas the role of state government is they can appropriate, they can collect those taxes. For an example, stamp duties on bills of exchange, checks and so on. These are all few examples. The next one is Article 269 says taxes levied and collected by the center but wholly assigned to the states. This Article 269 tells about taxes will be levied by the central government. Also, who will be collecting the money? Who will be collecting the taxes? Central government. They themselves can collect the tax. But what they will do is, they will not keep the money, whatever money which has been collected as a tax. What they will do is, but they will give this money back to the respective state governments. Taxes levied by center, taxes also will be collected by the center, but whatever money which has been collected from that particular state, let us say if it is from Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh or UP, that money, that tax, the total amount will be given back to the respective state governments. They will not keep that money. For an example, duties on succession on property other than agriculture land. Why other than agriculture land? Because agriculture revenue which comes under state list. Terminal taxes on goods and passengers, for an example railway, air and sea. Taxes on railway fares and freights. Taxes on interstate goods sales. If any transaction, sale transaction happens between two states, this tax amount will be given back to the respective state. The next one is Article 270, taxes levied and collected by the center and distributed between center and tax. What is this Article 270 says about taxes levied by center and collected by center, but that money will not given back to the state government alone. What they will do? They will distribute this money between center and the state government. Just let me reiterate, or let me just recall whatever we discussed, especially on this topic, is how tax revenues are being distributed between center and state. First one is about tax exclusive to center, which means there is no role for state government. Taxes will be levied and collected and can be used by the central government. Second is likewise for state government. State government will levy and collect, and the money will be used for the purpose of the state government. Point number 2. Point number 3 is taxes levied by central government but collected and appropriated by the state government, which means the only power of the central government is they can levy the tax, that is it. They can just fix the tax. Collection of the tax, also utilization of tax can be done by the state government. The fourth one is about, according to Article 269, taxes levied and collected by the center, but this will be distributed to the respective state, will be given back to the respective states. Article 270, taxes levied and collected by the central government, but they will distribute between center and state. 40% of the total tax amount can be retained by the central government, and then rest of the 60% can be given back to the state government. This is Article 270, taxes levied and collected by the center and distributed between center and state. For example, taxes on income other than agriculture income. Thank you so much.